anyways, it's another Chit Chat Daily. That's not so daily. I should change the name. Chit Chat Daily, not so daily, right? Anyways, so today on my lovely drive home, because that seems to be the time I really get to do one of these, and it's great. I get to open up to strangers that will soon one day maybe watch this, maybe not, but still I'm gonna keep on doing it. Why not, right? So basically this episode, Chit Chat Daily, I'll basically talk about being a diabetic, my diabetes awareness episode, if you will. So I got diagnosed in 2013 as a diabetic. Now, my story is a little interesting because I was misdiagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, and I'll even get into the differences that I know and how I can explain them to everyone. So type 2 diabetics, they could take pills that'll help them, which I was on, and control it even with diet. Type 1, you have to have insulin. Your pancreas, which makes the insulin, isn't working, and the way they even find that out is, I believe, C-peptide test, which will find out if you have a certain antibody that attacks your pancreas, so your pancreas is useless. At least that's how it was described to me. So I was diagnosed as type 2 in 2013. I had a very bad endocrinologist too. I had a doctor that diagnosed me as type 2, and then I went to an endo, which they are specialists with diabetes and thyroid, I know. I don't know too much, but endocrinology, anyways. And basically they didn't do the test to find out, and I guess in a way this is a plug for Kaiser, because I switched insurances. I had a PPO with Blue Cross Blue Shield, which that's fine, but I went to HMO, which is with Kaiser Permanente, and they looked and they're like wondering, well, why are these pills not working? They gave me some others that are supposed to squeeze more insulin out of my pancreas, and still nothing. They switched me shots of insulin, which made my wife even cry and upset, and I was like, well, I gotta do what I gotta do, and hopefully one day I don't need this. I can go away from it. And there was always that positive. And so the nurse practitioner there asked me, well, how do you know for sure you're type 2? I said, well, the doctor said so. She goes, well, we could do a test to find out. So mind you, at this point, I'm over a year and maybe 6 months having been diagnosed type 2 diabetic, thinking, one day, I could get away from the pills, I could control it all with what I eat. So I take the test, and the blood test. It's not like you write for a study. And I get a call pretty quick too. That's the one thing, again, I'll say about Kaiser. They're on it, And it came back that I was a type 1 diabetic, that I had the antibody. And right away they said, oh, we're going to prescribe you these 2 insulins. And as years progressed, different doctors, whatever, but I could just say that first being diagnosed, I was upset. And what's funny is, I think that was like a Friday or Thursday or Friday. But anyways, that Saturday they had a diabetes class that I was going to with my wife, and it was on nutrition. And I guess that class is geared more for type 2 diabetics. So, after just finding this out that, basically they're telling me you will never be able to just control it by eating like I was hoping. And it's frustrating, especially then you go to a nutritional class and you see all these people that they could control it with diet. And I understand it's hard because it's hard for me. I'm constantly always trying to cut my insulin down to try and lose weight a lot easier. And that's another thing. When I was on the pills and all that, I was down to 180. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't gaining weight, and I wanted to gain weight at that time. Now I gained weight. I'm almost at the biggest I've ever been. And I try and lose weight. I try and do everything. I try and be active. I try and play with my son. And it sucks. It's a disease that just sucks. And the other thing too that I didn't get into, the horrible endocrinologist I had with the other insurance, he would be so negative. I wouldn't even want to check my number that it was that bad, because just the way that he would talk. And I remember my wife went once and she cried when we got out, because just how he even talked to her, like, oh, why would you want to be with someone that's selfish? Mind you, at this point in time, he doesn't know I'm type 1. I don't know. My wife doesn't know. But she saw, I did what I could do. But he was saying because of my checking my number. So that's my little rant about diabetes and that. I mean, I could talk about type 2 because, like I said, I was misdiagnosed, and I probably know a little bit more than I do about type 1 than I know more about type 2 than I know more about type 1. And that's just because something I found out too, just being misdiagnosed, is there's more information out there for type 2 than there is type 1. Yes, you can find type 1 information out there, but it's not as extensive as type 2. And type 2 is the most common, where type 1 is not. And no matter what, diabetes sucks. And I do know that people say, oh, there's a little prejudice with type 1 and type 2. And my only thing is, yes, we can be that way. And I try not to be, and try and always be better. But the problem is how type 1s look at it. We have to do a shot to live. And it sucks. It sucks. We have to pay for it. There's people without insurance. I'm lucky I have insurance. But it still costs me money. It costs me about $58. And then right now they switched me to insulin pens. So what used to last me 3 months is now lasting me maybe, I don't even remember, a month and a half on my nighttime, which is Lantus, and I have to do 42 units of that. Inject it, and Lantus sucks, by the way, guys. It sucks. Everything I read, people are like, oh, it burns and all that. Yes. Lantus I've been injecting in my legs recently, because in my stomach you have to choose what side, because it's artificial, and the fast acting is human. So if they combine, apparently from what I hear, that they crystallize. That's what my one endo said. So I've been doing that. Well, sometimes it burns, and like last night I did it before bed, and I still had to do some stuff, get water and all that, because I don't know about any of you, but I like water always by me, my bedside. So it just started really burn, and it's just one of those things. It's you gotta live with, you gotta do it. Yes, it sucks, but what can you do? And hopefully one day there'd be a cure, but these companies that make insulin, which they're lifesavers, but on the other hand, you always think about those conspiracy theories of, are they really blocking a cure? So that's my rant on diabetes. It sucks, and for anyone that doesn't have it or anything, no, it's not because we're overweight. It's the number one thing that anyone would hear, and most type 1s are tired of it, because honestly, I think anyone would wish, oh yeah, it was just that was just us being overweight, then it's genetics, it's something we can't change, it's not, working out ain't gonna help, and diet isn't gonna help. We all wish it could, and it's again one of those things why it's a little sad that type 2 gets all the information, everything out there, more known. Most times when people say, the cure for diabetes, they're not talking about type 1, they're talking about type 2. And no one wants to correct it. And it's sad, because then it prolongs the whole, you could cure it by this, you could cure it by that. And, I had to hear it, my wife had to hear it from my mother-in-law. She'd tell her, all he needs is this special tea. And it's like, no, my pancreas does not work. Maybe one day there's something that can make it work, and which they even have transplants I read about, but there's so many side effects to it that it's worse than anything. So all I want to say is, at the end of all this, just be respectful of everyone. And it's what I always try and do. And thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.